That was the point.
The point could mean different things in different rooms.
It's always the same thing.
This is a nomadic radio show. Like at one point, we're at the studios at Garden Radio. One point, we're at location A, location B. We just moving all over the place.
I think we had the time frame to get back to the studio. We have to talk to the wife.
All right. Welcome to the Accredited, powered by 10th year seniors here on Guardian Radio. I'm Ronaldo. We're recording this on a Friday, and I would like to say happy birthday, Joy Taylor.
I'm Ricardo. It's really good that we don't have Andrew because last week was tough. We have a lot to pick up from.
What do you mean? That was amazing. Sorry, John.
And I'm John Mark, and happy birthday 2 times to Joy Taylor. That was the only right answer.
And that's why I'm happy Andrew here, because it would have been 3 times and then we would have got off for the whole Joy Taylor tangent. Shout out Joy Taylor, the GOAT.
I mean, she's the greatest in sports media there is.
Facts.
We are a close second. I'm standing and doing this like I'm Pat McAfee. Taylor Rooks is 4th. Actually, you know what? We're not going to do an entire rankings. I'm just going to say, once again, happy birthday, Joy Taylor. So we did get it 3 times.
We're never going to disprove the claims that we're sexist, but it is what it is.
We're saying she's our favorite. How is that sexist? I think it would be sexist for 3 men to just sit around the table and say only the men are great. I listed one guy.
Just true.
I didn't list any because I got Malika too.
Look at that.
I always preferred Rachel Nichols. She was pretty good.
She had a time.
But you know who else had their time? All of the other teams that got eliminated from the NFL playoffs. What's the lead? We started last week with Here's the thing, guys. The NFL players is going to lead the show every week. It will take something substantial to knock the playoffs off their block. So every week when you come here and you listen to the Accredited, you're probably going to be catching up on what's happening in the playoffs, and that's what we're going to do this week. So we'll quickly look back at the wild card round as we go through the divisional round. But I think the lead for everyone headed into this weekend has to be
the Ravens.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be, right? And I think we go and we're hyperbolic about this, and you think of every game, and as these networks try to sell it, it's the game of the year, maybe the game of the decade, game of the century. You hear all of these kind of things thrown around because we forget history pretty quickly.
You talk about game of the century. I'm never going to forget the LSU Alabama game. It's like game of the century, and it finished 9-6.
Game of the century. That's how you sell it. But honestly, hearing the rhetoric around a lot of what we expect from Bills Ravens this weekend,
it's hype.
Hasn't it been getting game of the century vibes?
No, but the thing about this game, because we'll talk about the other boring games later, but this is the game that everyone wanted. Besides the Chiefs, let's just put it that way. But this is a game of 2 quarterbacks who finally both could. It's a stepping stone thing where Lamar has always been the one that, I can't get to this certain point.
They both have though. They both have that tie because none of them have gotten to the Super Bowl.
Exactly, but Lamar has been more criticized. I feel, in my opinion, like Josh Allen is. I mean, it's going to suck how I'm going to say this.
We know why.
But this is a black quarterback versus a white quarterback, and everyone is more fans with the white quarterback.
It's America.
The media loves the white quarterback.
It's America. The media loves the white people.
I want Lamar to win. I want Lamar to be able to get his shine. I need them Miami boys.
John's an ally.
No, but for me, the thing about this game that really pisses me off is the fact that it's not the AFC Championship game.
That's the
because
thing.
What's going to happen is no matter how good this game is, everybody's going to look at it and say, okay, you're just advancing for the chance to lose to Patrick Mahomes. So it's kind of bittersweet because they can both ball out. They can have, as Nal said, the game of the century. And then if they fall short next week,
game of the century,
it's all a race.
2.0.
No, they're not going to brand it that.
Here's my thing with this game. And this is why I feel like this game is really, really important, but it's almost like a fool's gold game to me because it's almost like I felt that these are the best 2 teams, regardless of the Chiefs being the best team in the regular season. I feel that one of these 2 teams from the AFC should be in the Super Bowl because they will have the best product. But the problem is going to be is one of them is going to win. And are they going to then get the complacency of saying, ooh, that was a tough one. Then you're going against the Chiefs, which I assume the Chiefs are going to win. And then the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do.
That's the thing about this, right? You're getting, and John encapsulated it perfectly. You feel like these have been the best 2 teams.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are every week, the entire internet has gone crazy watching the Chiefs scrape by and win in the most unbelievable ways ever to get this number one seed and get the bye. But these two teams have fought. These two teams have gutted it out. These are the two front runners for MVP. I think that's what also makes this game, and it adds the stakes to this, is because these are the only two guys in the conversation. Well, no, Saquon Barkley's in the conversation as well.
Well,
but
I think Saquon's MVP.
But we know quarterback's going to get the nod.
Yeah, but that's my opinion.
The Heisman Trophy vote should have shown you that. Well, this time Travis Hunter had to be amazing and play on both sides of the ball.
I feel like the best two players in the league was Lamar and Saquon.
But
then Josh is third.
The reason why Josh Allen's going to be there is because his numbers are so great, and they actually lost some of that talent from the skill positions.
And not only that, is the game he had against the Chiefs when that was at the time the game of the century, getting hyped up. So the fact that he went into Kansas City, beat them the way he did with that last second
just like
scramble.
quarterbacks.
No, I'm just saying, in that moment, you look at that and say, hey, that's an MVP performance. Of course, Lamar went on to have a couple of those performances. So that's the way the hype is built.
So the thing about the Lamar MVP conversation to me is I feel like we just had this with Jokic last year, right?
Yeah.
Where people were, it was almost a sense as if they had Jokic fatigue, like there's no way he should win another one. But then you look at the numbers and like, well, yeah, he should. Like the numbers he's putting up now is better than when he won it before. So if you gave it to him then.
LeBron Miami days.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're so good. Let's just forget LeBron Miami days. LeBron is putting up MVP numbers at 38.
Yeah.
Like that would have
40.
won. Yeah, at 40. That would have won MVPs, but everyone's just tired of.
You get MVP fatigue.
Yeah, the LeBron. I think people get more tired.
And that's why I keep saying this Ravens-Bills game pisses me off a bit, because this should be the AFC Championship game. Because you're going to get those kind of performances from these guys and say, hey, now this should take them to the next level. But then they have the juggernaut of Patrick Mahomes sitting right there,
guys,
just waiting and waiting.
I feel like it's all going to be for nothing. I feel like this could be the most fantastic game, and next week, they could probably just lay an egg. The Chiefs are going to win next week by it could be a blocked field goal. It could be a fumble with time expired. It could be anything. And it could be a game where they win like 10-7. We could see Ravens-Bills put up 60-something points. And then next week, the Chiefs will win 10-7, and Patrick Mahomes is going back to the Super Bowl.
I hate to shift the conversation like this, but last week I kind of throw crap on CJ Stroud.
You kind of.
This week, I have my fingers crossed, my toes crossed.
So lucky.
You can't cross your toes.
Can
anyone cross their toes?
I'd find a way. But I needed to come through.
I can only cross my big toe.
And the hype behind Patrick Mahomes, if he could find a way to pull this game off with everything going on, find a way to get it done, so we don't have that.
Here's the thing about the CJ stuff. I almost pulled audio from the last
and I knew you would. I
was just like, what was it? We're in a WhatsApp group, and what happens is just like Cardo's saying, oh, CJ could throw, and it's like, what happens if he had the talent around him? Like, that's the only thing we were saying, the talent around him.
That's it. Like,
and that's going to be the big thing though with Josh Allen, because everyone says that he lost his main targets, right?
Yeah.
But I do know that there was one person who had a bunch of targets, maybe never had targets. Cardo's best friend, the one and only,
the great.
The great.
Who's your best friend?
Thomas Edwards, Patrick Brady.
Oh, he had tons of targets.
Who? There was some years he just had Deion branching like a tight end.
Super Bowl MVP. He had two of the greatest tight ends. One was a murderer. He had the greatest tight end of all time, and another one who was pretty good, but also a murderer. We can't mention him without mentioning being a murderer.
We could separate.
No, we can't. I feel like those two things. You can't mention Deshaun Watson and say just quarterback. You have to say Deshaun Watson, quarterback who used to be great, not so great now, but also did some kind of
Watson, as long as he's not in a massage parlor. I could say that.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm just saying when I feel compelled. I could feel compelled when I mention Aaron Hernandez. I have to say.
Just say on the field.
On the field.
On the field. Off the field. In cars that could potentially drive at high rates of speed. Let's not talk about that.
Killed people. Anyway, so yes, Tom Brady had weapons. So forget that. So that is one side, but we are putting the cart before the horse in the AFC, the other divisional round, because the Chiefs, like we mentioned,
Chiefs.
Yeah, they are the Chiefs, but have looked very beatable by almost every team that they've played.
By every metric, the Chiefs should not be where.
had an
still
amazing
don't know
record. No, we
how
still
they ended up the number one
we
seed.
still got to give them their flowers for having an amazing record.
I don't know how.
They haven't scored over 30 points this season.
And it didn't matter.
Only 3 teams. Us, the Patriots, the Chiefs, and I think the other team was
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the
Raiders.
Dolphins.
Yes.
No, the Dolphins
And
scored
I was
over
like,
30.
how are you the number one seed
When
in
we
the
beat the
most
Jets?
toughest division? I'm sorry, not division, conference.
I saw something where it was like everyone said that the AFC is now the quarterback conference.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like because you got Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
That is a gauntlet just to hear.
And
My
then you
God,
got it.
Joe
then-
Burrow ain't
then
even in.
CJ.
That's just the top tier.
Yeah.
The
And then
middle
CJ,
tier quarterbacks.
The middle tier is whatever. But I feel that leads to just young quarterbacks in general. Cardinals' favorite thing to complain about because you have the Texans with CJ, who has no weapons, but still getting it done, which I said
Agreeable.
last week.
Agreeable.
How do you judge a season? You judge a season if he makes it to the second round because it's called progression.
Yeah.
He was first round, now it's second round. But you know who's the most impressive young quarterback?
Hold on, but let's
You're
make our
answering me.
AFC picks before.
Oh.
No, but we got to make our AFC picks before we move on to that. So let's go first. I didn't even give the times, but Chiefs Texans is gonna come up first Saturday at 4:30. We didn't really do a deep dive into this, but Chiefs Texans, what do we got?
I'm gonna go with the. I want to go
That's
with
the
the
Chiefs.
I want to go with the Texans just to do like some reverse psychology whammy type thing, but Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs as well because I don't know how well that Houston defense is gonna be. Like, let's put it last week, they played incredible. Like, they are what really actually saved CJ in that game to a point where it was like, because then he got comfortable. Now, if the defense plays like that, they definitely win.
And special
But
teams.
Arrowhead's a funny place to play. It's going to be minus 6 million degrees.
Yeah, that's another thing. Cold.
And
Allowed.
as much as people say, oh, this was football weather. It's not football weather because look where they play Super Bowls. They play them in domes and in nice cities.
That football weather rhetoric was created by people who live in the north.
Yeah.
People who play in domes do not consider that
No.
football weather.
So anyway, it's not football weather. But this is where Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have the advantage because they're used to playing in the conditions. And when you grab the pigskin, it feels different.
Hey
Pause.
man, I
Pause.
need
Pause.
yes.
I just
Listen,
I could have said a different word than pigskin, but
I need to see you drag Patrick Mahomes' carcass off the field before I pick against him. And I am just gonna go. Even when he had zero offensive line in that Super Bowl against the Bucks, I was like, well, Patty might still do this, and he still almost did it. I need to see you kill him. Not literally like Aaron Hernandez, but I need to see you beat him, and I'm going with the Chiefs until that happens. I'm picking Chiefs.
he's at the point like it was the Patriots and Tom Brady. You are more shocked when they lose a game in the playoffs.
Except this one, I don't think people would be shocked.
No,
People
no,
would be like, they've been playing with fire all year.
But you know what this one is? Carter could tell you about it when they played the Titans that year, where
Brady's final game.
everyone saw the Patriots writing on the wall.
Yeah.
But we're not going to see the Chiefs writing on the wall.
No.
But everyone saw the Patriots. It wasn't a surprising thing. It was just like, it's almost like, you know, when they was like, oh, the king is dead. Like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? That's just how it's going to
I
be.
kind of like, I want that to be the case of the Chiefs this postseason, but it's like
I feel like even if they lose this year, I feel like they could just get Tyreek Hill back and they could be fine.
Do we get 2 first-round picks back for him?
We could pick wrong anyway. It wouldn't even matter. Like people always get so caught up on picks and all of
we
that.
could trade those picks.
Yeah, I would rather them get a proven asset. I don't trust them to select good players. Anyway, and over to Bills Ravens, which will be Sunday at 6:30. I'm gonna go first. I'm going Ravens here. I need to, like John said, I need to see Lamar Jackson get it done. It is time for Lamar Jackson to get it done. The addition of Derrick Henry, we have all seen what it has done to this offense. They already had the best rushing attack the last few years. You add that guy back there and Zay Flowers is natural progression, but we do have to worry about his health status.
This is crazy because all we did was talk about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, and we did not bring up
Derek.
6'5", 230-pound running back who runs 22 miles an hour.
That's why he went there. Yeah.
I think he prefers it that
But
way.
this is where I'm going with Ravens because I can't play the sound that I used to be able to
Yeah.
play.
You can't play that on Guardian Radio. It's-
But
nice people listen to this.
yeah, I know that I ain't like Buffalo. That's just how it is. But I want to see Lamar Jackson get there. I want to see him be able to win, even just have a chance to compete in the Super Bowl. You want to see that for Lamar, because Lamar gets the most. No, Lamar gets a lot of it. Like I'm a Lamar Jackson
I know,
fan.
but it's crazy. As someone who is a huge college football fan, do you not think it's crazy the narrative that's been built around him? Like he wasn't a great passer at Louisville?
No, I mean when we beat them in Louisville.
I know, but he was still. But people act like Lamar Jackson was just a guy that just scrambles. No, Lamar Jackson has always sat in the pocket and picked people apart.
No, we didn't beat him in Louisville. We beat Teddy Bridgewater, I think. Anyway, but no, it was something where, and that's crazy. Teddy Bridgewater to Lamar Jackson at Louisville. They are known for developing NFL
Yeah, we ain't trying to talk it down too much.
But I'm just saying, I didn't know to develop a little bit of quarterback. But no, he's always been a great player at every single level. You know, he's only been in the league for what? 8 years?
Isn't he? He's
26.
Who was the rookie quarterback that came in?
Josh Rosen.
Yes, there was a couple years when you had rookie quarterbacks coming in that were either Lamar Jackson's age or older.
Yeah, no, Chris Winkie. Remember, he was like 28 at Florida State.
Carter,
but
oh, sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead, John.
My thing is, you have Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry to me in the playoffs is what is the great advantage. That's all it is, because Lamar doesn't have to have a perfect game if Derrick Henry is going
exactly.
off.
Yep.
I think the Ravens. I think the Ravens are a more prepared team going into this weekend. I think they have the better offense. The defense is now spot on.
Quarterback.
I want Josh Allen to win because I feel like he will fare better against Patrick Mahomes, who I think, of course, is going to eventually beat the Texans. But the Ravens are just a better team. Like, I hate to say it like that, they're a better team, so I'm going to lean Ravens.
Here's the thing, though, and this is another big thing that we talk offense a lot, right? But I feel like Kyle Hamilton is channeling Ed Reed in the second half of the season.
I watched him last week, and I was trying to figure out, like, how do you just duplicate this kind of success on defense? Was it Ray Lewis in the building? Did he give the speech?
Yes,
but that
Ray Lewis did the dance when he came out.
Defense was playing all world last week.
When Ray Lewis came out and did the dance, I say,
See, I think they just needed to find the guy. I think they just needed to find the leader because they had two. They had Ed Reed, they had Ray Lewis, and then Terrell Suggs and everyone else just filled in the blanks around
And this is where I feel like the NFL has kind of cooked the books. Because, again, if the Texans just find a way to beat these guys tomorrow, you would have a Ravens team sitting back. We have a chance to have the AFC Championship now at home. That's an opportunity. Like, you would put extra gas in the tank for them just to go buck wild.
You know what would be crazy? If CJ Stroud spoils everyone's party and wins both of these games. That would be insane.
That would go to show that we know quarterbacks. Carter doesn't.
Let's shift.
I know Tom Brady. That's all about it.
He doesn't play anymore. He's an owner.
So it's okay.
Let's shift it over to the NFC, and we are going to, speaking of surprises, we got to go with what has easily been the best team in the league this year, the Detroit Lions, hosting this is the most shocking team, I think, in playoffs still, Washington Commanders. That game is Saturday night. Well, that game is tonight at 8 p.m. Who we got?
I'm going to go in that game with the Detroit Lions. It's hard to believe Dan Campbell is the coach of the Lions.
Man, Campbell!
Like, I could never forget those kind of segments and to see what he's done with this team over the last year. Detroit playing with house money right now, but it's like they top tier talent on both sides of the ball, and they find a way to get it done. I never thought I would see Jared Goff at this level, but hey, they dominating right now.
But you know what the whole Dan Campbell thing shows you?
Dolphins are dumb.
Well, we know that without the Dan Campbell thing, right? But I think at the same way coaches get all the credit and all the blame, I do think we overestimate how important they are because they're basically CEOs, right? Yeah, they make final decisions, but if you can build a great team around you, and Dan Campbell has an amazing offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson. Like you watch the Lions play, and people do not understand how they scheme people open. Dan Campbell is letting that happen. Dan Campbell is letting him cook. So it's talent acquisition, both on and off the field. And meanwhile, you just got to be and I'm not saying Dan Campbell ain't doing anything, right? But you got to be the CEO. You give the rah-rah speeches. You fall on the sword when things go poorly.
And you manage.
You manage.
But also, I feel with the Lions, they did, like, because Dan Campbell came in with taking the identity of the city.
Yes.
And that's always a big thing when a coach comes in. What identity are these players going to take? Because they've been suffering longer than any franchise in the history of the world. So
he's not being hyperbolic. That's true.
Yeah.
But, well, now it's the Dolphins.
No, it's the Dolphins. But all I'm saying is he came in and he put his emotions on his sleeves and he was like, this is who I am going to be day one. If y'all don't like it, I'll go find someone else who likes it. So he's bringing in his guys, his people that believe in it. And it's just to me, it's refreshing because you don't get that coach talk from him.
Yeah.
Like
he bites kneecaps.
Yes, he's going to give it to you as is. He's going to tell you, like, what I like is he takes responsibility when he has to take it and he doesn't hold back when he gets the question, why'd you go for it on fourth down?
And he will get that question.
He's going to get that question. But it's just like he believes in what he's doing. And to me, that's just what great coaches do.
That right there is something, because I remember the thing about it is he brought this same kind of spirit and bravado to the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
People just didn't believe in it, but then the talent on the field didn't matter
because
as
Miami got the Ladins.
Nobody believed in
them
it.
Ladins is a little
fun.
different.
He was fun.
He was fun, but I'm saying he's so consistent. This is the same guy.
Yeah.
The only thing that changed is the personnel around.
But we couldn't say he matches the city's energy.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. And to me, he can be a Bill Belichick type I'm not saying all the Super Bowls, but long-term there, a Mike Tomlin, long-term in Detroit, where he is really going to have to mess up in order to not be the head coach for that franchise.
On the other side, yes, this whole thing has been a redemption story for Jared Goff. And we're going to get into that later with the possibility of Goff versus Stafford. But on the other side of this game from the Detroit Lions, Jaden Daniels, from week one, Jaden Daniels made his... He announced his arrival in the NFL week one, and I feel like he's been going at that trajectory ever since. I don't even know if you can place a cap on where you see Jaden Daniels going, because I cannot think of the last time I saw...
Don't ask Cardo.
I cannot think of the last time I saw a quarterback come in and be this spectacular in his rookie season right away.
So let's just put it this way. Last week's game of the Commanders and Buccaneers was the best game the entire weekend.
Shout out Baker.
Actually, the other games weren't good. Like, this was the game.
And you did have that Baker magic moment. But, wait. Someone knows better magic.
How many times have we seen Jaden Daniels done it?
I know he did it, 3-4 times this season.
He's had fourth quarter drives. He's had the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
He's done it in a variety of ways.
But that's the thing. And this was so surgical how he took the team down the field on the last possession. Granted, the kicker hit the cross, the goalpost, doinked it in. At least it went in, because to me, if he would have missed that, I think the Commanders would have ended up losing the game. I think the real Baker, the other Baker magic would have came. It was pretty much the team who had the last possession was going to win that game.
Yeah.
But he is doing it, and it's like he's so poised in the pocket. It's just ridiculous of how good he is, so young. And let's just put it this way. He has weapons, but he doesn't have all the weapons.
They're not the names that the average or the casual would expect. Like Terry McLaurin is the number one guy, but how many, you could even poll football fans or so-called football fans, and they do not know who that guy is.
I agree. They don't know who he is, but I've been saying the entire year, if you just take the name off and just let him run up the field, he's the best receiver in the NFL right now to me.
But he's been like, see, it's almost like, and I'll say it comes to the Mike Evans. Mike Evans is great, but he's so low profile to a point because he consistently does it every single year. That's the same thing.
I've never seen a catch that's been too difficult for Terry.
Let's go quick. I am going with the Lions in this one because I just feel like I need to see Dan Campbell get it done.
Lions.
Yeah, I adopted the Lions ever since the Dolphins made the mistake of getting rid of Dan Campbell. I have to now root for Dan Campbell to be like, you know what? We could have had him.
And we're going to go ahead to the half right now. When we come back, we will talk about the other half of the NFC, Eagles and Rams. getting so much better on getting cue and knowing when to start the show, because that is the point. That means the show starts now. Welcome back to the Accredited here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Ronaldo, and if you haven't yet, head over to Instagram and search Joy Taylor Talks and just wish her a happy birthday for me. Happy birthday once again, Joy Taylor.
I'm Ricardo. Is today her birthday?
No, her birthday was yesterday. Her birthday is on Friday.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
I mean, we could just celebrate the whole weekend. I don't know about you, but I'm celebrating the whole weekend.
Pretty sure she is.
That was Ricardo, by the way. I'm John Mark, and once again, happy birthday to Joy Taylor. I mean, I don't know where Ricardo is not getting this cue from.
You're really ruining it. I don't want to just come out and say it, but you're really ruining it. Like, we have a shtick that we doing, and like, do you not get the show?
It's the one time that I don't come on dead on the air. And look at that.
I have so much respect for older brother that I just can't partake in this.
How is it disrespectful to wish someone happy birthday? Well, please disrespect me on my birthday. All right? I don't even get how this disrespectful. You know how much we've been... Never mind. All right, let's go back to the NFL divisional round. We talked about 3 of the 4 games. Let's get to game number 4. The Philadelphia Eagles and Los Angeles Rams, Sunday at 3 p.m. So the storylines in this game, of course, the Rams had a resurgent second half of the season.
Dolphins beat the Rams.
Aaron Donald didn't even believe in this team.
No.
Aaron Donald has been Mr. LA Ram, and we know we still had a whole lot of football left in him. And when he was like, you know what, I'm done, everyone thought that was it, right? They had nobody in the backfield. Matthew Stafford started the year banged up. So it was like, you know what?
He finished the year banged up as well.
They leveraged their future to get the talent to win that Super Bowl, and it worked because they got the Super Bowl, and everyone thought, you know, it was great. At some point, people were saying McVay was just going to head off to the booth and be done with coaching, and then all of a sudden, we look up, here they are in the divisional round after they didn't even get to host the wild card game that they were supposed to because of the fires going on in California. And here they go up against the Eagles.
So here's what I'm going to say. I was wrong.
Hold on. Wait, mark this. We're recording on January 17th. This is airing on January 18th. What time is it? Okay, I got it. John is admitting to being wrong. This is crazy right now.
I was wrong, and boy, they came out, and it's going to be the wrong word, on fire.
Use anything else.
Yes.
Use anything else.
No.
Say they came out inspired. Say they came out, with renewed
I could have been
energy.
wrong, but I can't change the way I talk. But I would say this.
100 other metaphors.
Yeah, I was thinking that may have been a lot for them to deal with because logistically, all that. But when you watch them pregame, when you watch them postgame talk about it, this is going to be a team to really reckon with because of what is happening or what has happened.
They're playing with that dangerous chip on our shoulder, nothing to lose energy, because nobody expects them to win.
No.
Matthew Stafford just going out there slinging it.
No one expected them to beat the Vikings the way that they beat the Vikings.
Oh, before we move on, and I know we didn't talk about any of the teams that lost, but I gotta quickly just ask y'all this one thing. How much money do we think Sam Darnold lost these just 2 games alone? They went, 14-3?
Yeah.
$100 million.
He did.
800 million?
800 million? Somewhere around there. Yes, no, he lost because what happened was the resurgence of Sam Darnold was, this guy's better than we thought. And then reality crashed right back.
What was crazy?
He is who we thought
What was crazy about it for me is like the Jets fans the entire year.
Yes.
They was like, wait on it. Everybody, no, you see what he did yesterday. Pretty good. Wait on it. Then all of a sudden, the last week of the season, and then last week, everybody was just like, see, we told you.
No, but you know what they was doing, though? They was pulling so hard to be right. They was praying, the Roman Catholic ones, I'm sure they had, what's it called? Anyway.
Rosary.
Yes, they had the rosaries tied up, and they were praying like they wanted the Sam Darnold failure to come just so they could say, told you so.
Nobody celebrated more than them on Monday night. New York went wild. They was like, forget about Aaron Rodgers and everything he cost us. This is what we were telling you about the entire year. Sam Darnold is going to be Sam Darnold.
But I feel like he's still... Okay, maybe he lost...
He lost the game.
Elite... No, not the game. I'm looking forward to next year. Maybe he lost like an elite level of money. But I feel like...
He's not a starter next year now.
You don't think teams think so?
He's not a starter now.
Wow. Because so those 2 games undone,
because
the 14-3?
They're going to look at it and say, okay, he had one of the best wide receiver cores out there.
Yes.
He got them where they needed to get, and then in the big moment when they needed to depend on him, He didn't show up. You're going to be a.
You remember, as someone who's a journeyman like him, you're going to be judged in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, look at Flacco. Flacco didn't have anything, and he was still chucking the ball wherever he wanted to. If Joe Flacco was on that Minnesota team for the playoffs, I bet you they win that game.
The only way he recovers from this is if he goes to the team,
The Dolphins.
be a backup, and then in some weird case, he ends up back on the field late part of the season.
You know what's a
and
good
makes
team
run.
for him?
Go ahead.
Kansas City.
They already have one of them.
But I mean,
the rich get richer.
yeah, but I don't know.
Who's their backup?
The Vikings only have JJ McCarthy.
your
How
boy
much do you
from-
believe in JJ McCarthy?
More than
More than him. I
Why?
believe
We
in
have
that.
zero reason to believe in
Because
JJ
he
McCarthy.
showed me in the biggest moment of his career that he could
JJ
not
McCarthy
complete
could
a
have done the
pass.
same for little money.
Like, you've already proven the one question we had. So why am I going to trust you again? It has to be a situation where he's a backup next year, comes off the bench probably week 14, week 15,
Or
and goes on a run.
What's going to happen is he's going to be the starter. Let's just say Minnesota re-signs him, but he loses a bunch of money because of that. And then JJ's just going to take his spot in week 8.
What's the guy who used to be the Eagles quarterback?
Nick Foles?
No, he beat us at the Super. Who was supposed to play at the Super Bowl that year for them? They're old.
Wentz.
Oh, Carson Wentz.
He's
Wow.
in Kansas City.
He's still around?
Yes, he's the Kansas
He's
City.
still in the
backup.
league?
Yes.
That is crazy.
Andy Reid.
Speaking of Carson Wentz, let's go over to the team that the Rams are facing, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the NFL just somehow allowed them to get Saquon Barkley.
They did it. The Giants did. Don't
So-
blame the whole
yeah,
league for something the Giants
So
did.
this is kind of the same mirrors in the not exactly, but like you have the great quarterback. Well, not I don't know. Jalen Hurts ain't a great quarterback, but you have
A serviceable
Best
you have
quarterback.
Alabama quarterback.
how much is that saying?
A lot.
Wait, hold on. Is he the best Alabama quarterback?
Hey,
No.
you can't tell me two right now.
Two is better than Jalen Hurts.
All right.
Jalen
Ask
Hurts-
Tyreek how he feels.
Ask the Dolphins what they look like when anyone other than Tua is on the field.
You know what the downfall of Tyreek was? When he almost got locked up in week 1 of the season. That just was a free fall for the Dolphins.
John, and also secret surgery nobody knew about.
Yeah.
That was
Like,
weird.
I know.
like, that was
That
kind
was
of a
weird.
big deal.
We found out when he's like, don't put me on the ground. I just did something to my knee.
It's like, wait a minute. Like, your job is speed, and we are all learning at the same time. As you get arrested before week 1, you had a procedure on. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and whatever is going on with AJ Brown and his books against
The
the
bestseller
Los
now,
Angeles
whatever.
Rams. That's crazy
Yo,
how the
shout
internet
out-
works.
Yeah.
So 2 things showed me how crazy the internet is and how instant gratification can change things once it goes viral, right? AJ Brown just having this book out there and it automatically becoming a bestseller, and LiAngelo Ball getting $13 million for one song.
I mean, both things are important.
I
Because
still think Kai's song's better.
Way better.
He looked so much at peace reading on the sideline. So I had to ask,
Carter,
what is he reading? Why
know-
does he look so happy?
You know why he's at peace? Because
Saquon Barkley.
he has already gone through all the different levels of hatred for Jalen Hurts possible. You know what it is to be that good at your job and you have to rely on someone else. And you're like, you know what? I can't even be mad no more.
That's why I was happy he had the book. He's going to be a Patriot next year, by the way. But Saquon Barkley is going to dominate.
You said
this
it
game.
about every receiver.
I believe
You know Bill
I have to.
Belichick hasn't signed the contract at
I
UNC
told
yet?
you all. He is okay. Let me leave it alone.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What?
I've been
Yeah,
telling
he
you
hasn't
this for
signed
like
the
2
contract
weeks.
yet.
He's not going to be the coach in North Carolina at the start of the year. He's not.
So why were we reporting this?
Because everybody else did. He agreed to become the head coach, but he's not.
So it was just like a handshake agreement?
Yes,
Yeah.
because what he told him is if he makes it to that period of the year, he's going to be the coach. But if somebody walks in from the NFL and offer him what he wants, he's gone. Shut up, Bill Belichick. Still getting it done.
Wow, the Cowboys gonna do it, ain't they?
Meanwhile,
It's between him and Dion. You can't lose. But Jerry Jones will find a way
I
to
think
mess it
Dion
up.
could do it yet.
If he won his son, be the number one pick.
no. Dion will be a fool to go
I
now
don't think he going yet.
because it's Jerry. He knows Jerry.
I think Dion needs I think he needs one more elevation in college football before he goes to the NFL.
He's got to win a bowl game.
I think he goes to a bigger program.
We're
Then
going to get to that when we get the college part.
Sorry.
The game. Let's
Let's say Eagle Ram. You have John's MVP Saquon Barkley, who
More black excellence.
I feel like everyone has used all of the adjectives that you could say about how great he is, and him and Derrick Henry have completely undermined that whole. Remember how fashionable it was to say, yeah, anybody could be a running back. You could just grab
It was
anyone.
the stupidest thing I've ever
Not
heard in my
anyone
life.
could jump backwards over somebody.
Not everybody could run through anything to get to the touchdown.
Not anyone could squat like 6 billion
They
pounds.
stack 8 in the box every game against him. And he ran for 2,000 yards. He would have had the record if they tried to go for it.
And
Yeah,
this
no,
is
he would've
this
had
is
it.
the only thing that's pissed me off about Saquon this year. What is his deal with not getting the individual like glorified? Like he had a touchdown. Just go get it.
How much you had on Saquon anytime touchdown?
I can't talk about it. I tired of losing, buddy.
Yeah, I know. That's all that was.
Just go get it.
Everyone who had Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown and saw him breaking through the secondary and slide like he was going
Bro,
to second
I
base.
already make plans for the buddy, and I look at it. But he slid up. It's like, bro, what the? Wait, why?
That's
why?
the thing. You see it, the offensive line open up, and
Yep.
you're like, yeah, it's a touchdown. That's
And
a touchdown anytime.
You saw him get through to the second level and you was like, oh, ain't nobody catching him. And then no.
He caught himself
Yeah. he did.
immediately, and I was like, why?
He resting for this week, that's why.
Do we think Jalen Hurts forces it to AJ Brown? Does the book come out again?
It
Because
does.
yes, the
no,
book-
I think a different book this week.
Eagles fans were really adamant about it because a lot of people are saying, no, that's cap. You don't really do this. But Eagles fans were adamant saying, no, he always has this book out. Like they were defending it. I don't know.
I've never seen it, but
I mean,
How much attention were we paying to the Eagles and AJ Brown? on the
I don't
sideline?
watch Eagles games. And honestly, if someone wants to read, like, you got to let people be in their zone. And
Be
if he's,
centered,
if he's comfortable, like you know, as a team, oh, he's going to pick up his book and he's going to take a minute or two to read a page or whatever. Then what? But it's a long drive. Sometimes they're
And
on
you
the
know-
side for 15 minutes.
You know what I think a lot of people don't get? Offensive and defensive players in the NFL, they don't always watch each other. They're not compelled to watch each other. So while the defense is on
But
the
you can't
field,
even watch them because you have a line of defensive people right there waiting to get subbed in.
sometimes the offense is just having their own meeting. It could be
I
doing
know,
101 other things.
I think that's where the discord came because it's a situation where I think a couple of times during the season, it was moments like that where him and Jalen would go butt heads a bit. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
no.
he's using the book element to say, let me decompress, let me get away, and then we'll revisit it.
Which is better than knocking out your quarterback on
Which
the
is true.
sideline.
So that's why I say I'm in full support
So
of it.
Tyreek needs to get a book.
Boy, he might
Tyreek
need
needs
to
to
do
get a lot of things. I have an idea of the book I want to give Tyreek. Anyway, he need a booklet full of something. Anyway.
With a V, ends with an ectomy.
Boy, yes, just send him straight there. God, more. Anyway, deep breath in. I'm going Eagles on this one.
Do you want the book?
I- Already got one. I'm going Eagles on this one. The Rams story is great, and as much as I want to see Stafford Goff in the next round, I just think Saquon Barkley is a force in nature right now, and there's no stopping him.
Nah, I'm definitely gonna go with Saquon.
Even though he's my MVP, I'm going with the Rams.
Woo! All right.
Somebody's on fire.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shouldn't
Guys.
say that.
guys.
But yeah, no, I'm going to go with the Rams. I think that the storybook continues and it's only going to add to the story for the NFC Championship game, which I still think the Lions are going to go to the Super Bowl. But
no, that would be great.
It's
That would be
compelling
great.
TV.
Yeah, that would be amazing. All right, let's let's pivot quickly. We're going to stay in football, but go to the national championship game in college football. Notre Dame against Ohio State. Notre Dame.
I mean, before we get to the college football
go ahead.
thing, we could just talk about this college football playoff.
Mhm.
First of all, Alabama shouldn't have been in it,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
Because you can't get penalized for going to a conference championship game. Don't lose 3 games in a season. Second, the SEC ain't.
Alabama was in it?
No, they weren't in it.
Oh.
The people were saying that they should have been in it.
Oh, no.
Now, here's the other thing to it. Everyone's like, oh, this game's a blowout. Oh, this game. It happens all the time. It's nothing new in college football with these playoff games until they get to pretty much a national championship game.
We've seen blowouts at
Of
that
it-
too.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying of blowouts. So don't start saying, oh, this team deserves to be in here. My favorite thing, though, about the college football playoff is you could see that the SEC was paying players long time before NIL. And now every single team in college
Yeah.
is now able to do the same thing. And guess what? They can get good players.
Yeah.
Wait. We didn't need anything to see that. We knew that.
I understand that.
We knew that literally all our lives.
Yeah.
We knew that.
But now you see that the other teams,
The league is caught up.
yeah,
It's caught up.
let's put it that way.
It's above ground.
And yeah, we could see that it's caught up with the transfer portal, Notre Dame, and Ohio State being in the national championship
But
game.
to be fair though, the Big Ten the Big Ten and Ohio State, they was always there. Even when the SEC at the top of their powers,
they were always there. But my thing is, there's no way Ohio State was an 8 seed.
Yeah.
In the college football, like I agree with. First of all, I think if it's it should go to 16-team playoff. No one gets a bye, right? Just
I kind of like this format.
I understand. I understand, but also I think that they got to get rid of the format of just because you're a conference champion, you get a bye.
That could definitely
I
change.
feel like it needs to be like the NCAA tournament where you could seed your 1 seed and be like, these are the 4 best teams in our opinion. These are going to get the bye because Ohio State could have been a 4 team. You really got to think about what Oregon would have to have gone through as a number 1 seed. Ohio State, Texas,
But this is why I feel like the format kind of works because it showed you that bye doesn't make a difference. Because you had guys coming in off for the first week, just
everyone
coming in
lost
hot
on the bye
and just like literally taking out the top teams.
My thing is, the bye should be earned through the regular season, and that's why I feel you don't get penalized for conference championship game for not making the playoffs, but you shouldn't be rewarded just because you won a conference championship game to get that bye.
Yeah. Fair point.
Because if you win the conference championship, let's just say, and we'll go to the Big Ten. It's Ohio State and Oregon. Oregon beats them. It was a 1-point game. How are you to tell me that one of them has to be the 1 and one of them has to be the 9 seed? You know what I'm saying? Like they could easily have been the 4 seed. Yeah. Like that's just how it is.
So does Notre Dame get to avoid all of that talk just by not belonging to anything?
No. Okay, so Notre Dame's thing is crazy because they're independent. They are eligible to make the college football playoff, but their schedule is always going to be tougher than other schedules because of how,
But this season they didn't have a tougher schedule.
No.
And this is where my opposition is. I feel like Notre Dame needs to be forced into a conference to avoid this nonsense. Why I say that? Because they could kind of cherry pick who they want on their schedule. It gives them a better advantage to get into the college football
But
playoffs.
they have a deal with the ACC to play but look, so you know the ACC
yeah,
basketball.
they ACC adjacent.
So they have a deal with the ACC to play X amount of, they're not conference games.
What were the top teams in the ACC this year, Joe?
But why are they allowed to do this?
Money.
Okay.
Touchdown Jesus.
That's usually
Money.
the answer to everything.
Because
I'm not gonna lie, these were the 2 most Jesus teams of the year. And I feel like they're having a Jesus off right now. Because Ohio State has been very vocal about their religion. But Riley Leonard was like, nah, the most Jesus team there is out
we
there.
We
like,
the church right before and right after.
Y'all don't know Catholics versus convicts?
I'm looking at Notre Dame's schedule now, right? They lost in Northern Illinois.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Which was a crazy one. But they beat Texas A&M, the big almighty SEC. They demolished Purdue.
Like
where did Texas A&M finish?
Let me finish my point.
They was dead.
I know they did. So they beat Stanford. They beat Louisville by a touchdown. They beat Georgia Tech. They beat Navy. Navy was actually ranked at one point of the season, but Notre Dame destroyed them. Florida State, God knows. Army was ranked and they beat Army. And then they go and they beat Indiana. They've proven to themselves in the playoff that they belong. Let's just put it that way.
Which is true.
Yeah, it's a type of thing where I agree, like Notre Dame should never get a bye unless they're super. They never will get a bye because you have to be in a conference.
Right.
But they've proven the fact that saying, all right, we had that one hiccup earlier in the year, but they've dominated every team.
Right. I just think everyone should play by the same rules.
My concern is that you have a situation where they could go ahead, look at every conference and say, hey, that team is going to be talked about a lot. That's going to get them a rank. We're going to pick them because on paper, we know we better than them. Look at the Texas A&M game. That's what that was.
Yeah.
They were able to look at it and say, hey, this is a strong SEC school. So if we beat them, we get the credibility of beating an SEC school.
But that's why it's important to play those weaker teams at the beginning of the season.
Fair point.
All right. So for our last 5 minutes of show.
Hold on. Who's winning?
Oh, I know.
I'm going to go another day.
I'm going to Ohio State just because my childhood is not going to allow me to root for Notre Dame under any circumstances. I was a Miami Hurricanes fan growing up.
See, gotta get more Jesus in you. They go to church right before.
So is Ohio State.
I don't go to church, but that's going to be my church, so I got Notre Dame.
See, Notre Dame.
Ohio State got a kind of Bahamian who's the best receiver in college football.
Fair boy.
We didn't even talk about him. Anyway, so the last 5 minutes of the show, I wanted us to talk something local. And January is always a big time for baseball signings. You have
January 2026 is what we're waiting for.
You have 27. You have 4 Bahamians in this current signing class, and we talked about it on our newscast, is there another sport that is getting teenagers paid as quickly as baseball is getting? The top of this class, Aiden Johnson, who is signing with do we still call them the Oakland A's? Anyway.
I think that the A's. Just say the A's.
Aiden Johnson signing with the A's. He's the 11th ranked international prospect.
But they done in Vegas, right?
No, they're going to Sacramento.
They could be all over the place
When
for a
did the
minute.
Vegas deal fall through?
No, they're playing in Sacramento first,
For the
so then
time
they're
being.
going to Vegas.
Yeah. Eventually they go in there. They just ain't going there like right now.
They've already built the stadium.
That's
Sorry.
why I know what to call them.
The A's. Just the A's.
So the Vegas have the Aces. Anyway, we run out of time.
Yes. So Aiden Johnson going to the A's. He's been committed to them for a while, but you can imagine what the payday is like for being the 11th ranked international prospect. He was here locally, trained out of the Fortuna training facility in Florida. You had two signing with the Texas Rangers, Dave Neely and Jalen Pinder. Out of local academies here, Dave Neely was a Max D product, Jalen Pinder, international elite.
They're called the Athletics. They dropped Oakland.
Okay, there you go. And then you also had Janai McPhee from International Elite Sports Academy. So you see what's happening in local baseball. We've talked about this kind of thing before, but it's been a byproduct of what people are doing privately. And now you're seeing the benefits reaped year after year. And I know Carter wants to dive into his favorite topic of, these private institutions are doing a wonderful job. Is there anyone facilitating this so this can be more than just a happenstance with 1, 2, or 3, 4 guys, where it can be a complete country or complete communal approach like there is in the Dominican Republic?
I gotta give a rot this week because this is national strike. Everybody knows Brave gotta go.
Oh, jeez.
That's what they say. That's what
the streets saying.
That is what the streets saying. I have not said any of
It's
that.
a good thing they play the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Are we gonna
play that again? Run the Brad on a voice again right now. Because I ain't saying that.
No, but in all fairness, though, you see the potential, you see the development. The government needs to step in and do what's necessary. It's no long talk there.
But okay, here's my thing with that. I think these academies, they it's going to be a while now when Jazz Them was the first one in a long time that signed Lucius Jazz Them. But
what was that? That was 2015?
Yeah, 14. It was
2014. So for 11 years in a row now, we've had several players every year going into the minors.
And it's shown that it's worked. And sometimes you need to just take out what you say government got to do. No, because it's working.
John,
the system is working.
The system is working.
It's working, John.
But it's working for kids that have the potential and have the parents that can facilitate.
Have the means.
If you go through the public school system, there could be another 3 or 4 jobs just sitting there that would never have the opportunity because the facilities don't exist.
Now, that's where I was going to go to. If they build the facilities for these academies to use, and within that program saying, we will build this, we will let you use this, but this is what you need to do. Because sometimes it takes that where it'd be like, we're going to give you the facility, we're going to give you this, but you have to bring 3 to 4 X players into your academy from X, Y, Z.
So for me, it's not even just the academy thing, because that's supposed to be like the elite that get there, right? I think where the government has to come into play is you got to cast a wider net to even attract all the other kids that Carter was talking about. So, obviously, you all know I'm a baseball parent, right? So it took me going out when Kaizen was 4 saying, I'm going to take him to Freedom Farm. I'm going to sign him up, do all of this. This is what your path is going to be. Not every parent is thinking like that. You got to be able to... The way how Jazz got out by Freedom Farm, if you hear people tell the story, is he just happened to have a family that was invested in the sport and had coaches and people that were looking out for him. And you see where that's
why I keep saying, in the public school system alone, there could be another 3 or 4 Jazz just sitting there without the access
we could say
to
the
these sorts
same
of programs.
thing with the buddies and the Aidens and the Kais. Like, we know we have the talent. The problem is sometimes that talent, you have to develop it when it's young. If you take way too long to develop it, it goes spoiled.
And this is why I keep saying, it's all in how you kind of cultivate these partnerships. You look at what big companies like Royal Caribbean is doing here now. So a part of that deal could be, hey, help us, throw 20% towards this facility that we're trying to create. Go to another company like Nike or whatever, get them to, again, add to the bucket. Just go from there.
We got so much more on this topic we got to get to, but we're going to continue this next week because we got more football to watch. That's it for the Accredited. Happy birthday, Joy Taylor. We see you guys next week.
Happy birthday, Joy.
Bye.